If you're looking for a team against the Red Velvet Dragon in Cookie Run Kingdom, you have found your video, because ladies and gentlemen, today I'll be going over an easy and very good team against the Red Velvet Dragon. So let's get right underway. So for the 5 you're going to want to be going with, we've got Rebel, Prune Juice, Shadow Milk, Candy Apple, and Black Sapphire. Now for the treasures, we've got the Scroll, the Whistle, and the Watch. Now guys, let's get right ahead into the toppings, and make sure you watch until the battle itself so you guys can see what the skill order is. Now for Rebel Cookie, you want to go all apple jelly, so it's important to include this, in my opinion, that some people go with dark choco instead of Rebel Cookie, but dark choco needs a lot more specific and difficult to attain circumstances, like plus 30 magic candy and 75% plus damage resist, whereas Rebel Cookie, while the damage isn't as high, can keep your team alive much easier. So for the Rebel Cookie build, you're going to want to go with, on the biscuit, as much cooldown as possible. And then for the toppings, you're going to want to go all apple jelly with a focus on attack speed and crit. So the overall end goal you're going to want is cooldown near 30%, crit 55% or higher, and attack speed at 10% or above. This is going to serve the role of keeping Rebel Cookie alive. The moment he gets his ability to use a skill, use it, because if Rebel Cookie loses his shield, he'll likely die and the rest of the team will fall apart there. So then next, we've got Shadow Milk Cookie. So Shadow Milk Cookie is an interesting cookie in the fact that he's going to be a main damage dealer, but you do not want him having the whistle. For him, you're going to want to go for near 35% cooldown, literally the same amount of number with the crit, and try to get the crit as above 35% if possible, as high as you can go, but cooldown you definitely need to shoot for around 35%. So for the biscuit, I've got all cooldown on it, and then I've got the toppings focusing on crit and a bit of cooldown as well. Now, as I mentioned before, guys, you do not want Shadow Milk having the whistle. You want the whistle to go to Black Sapphire and Prune Juice. So let's get right into prune juices. So for prune juices, you're going to want that cooldown around 30%, and you're going to want to have as high crit as possible. So as you guys can see here, I've got the cooldown at 25%, which does limit the damage a little. Him and Black Sapphire are really going to be the damage dealers for this team. So the higher that crit and the higher that cooldown on Prune Juice, the more damage he will deal. So as you guys can see here, I've got cooldown on the biscuit and then all apple jelly toppings. And then for Black Sapphire, it's going to be similar but a little bit different. So for Black Sapphire, you're going to want to shoot for 8 to 9% cooldown. Now for his biscuit, I've got a lot of poison damage. Now the reason why is because he's getting quite a bit of a benefit from that compared to Prune Juice, where Prune Juice can put his ability out more often because it's a summon. Sapphire doesn't have that, benefits more from that damage boost from poison itself. So you're going to want to shoot for that 8 to 9% cooldown area, and then crit and attack just as high as possible, literally as high as you can get that crit and attack. And then for Candy Apple, it's a pretty straightforward and simple one. You're going to want to have as high as cooldown as possible. I'd recommend around that 25 to 30% range, and damage resist as needed. The higher that you might need it if you're just lower ascended. I've got mine at about 48%, and she survives 98% of the battles. So that's really what I'd shoot for, but that's also more of a as you can see it. The biscuit, I've got a lot of damage resist, while as you can see with the toppings is a lot of swift chocolate. So now guys, now that we've got the team build discussed and under the table, let's go into the battle itself and show you guys the skill queue. So you're going to want to queue up Rebel right off bat. You want him to use his skill the moment it's possible. And then I go Black Sapphire, the 2 attackers, and Candy Apple. Candy Apple serves that role of debuffing the enemy. So if it's not a bad idea to save her, honestly, for before them. But as long as you get Rebel Cookie in first, that's what's most important. And as you guys can see here, Rebel was just taking a lot of damage from that blast, and without his shield, he was getting taken out. I immediately used that skill and he's good to go now. I always try to use Rebel before the attacking cookies, because Rebel does deal that defense lowering role, which is incredibly useful for this fight. So that's it, guys. Generally, this team gets me about around 3.8 to 4.5 billion. Now, this will all depend on things such as your lab, your landmarks, your guild boost, your lab boosts, but it's a good team that will get you billions in damage. If we look at the damage done, we can see Black Sapphire and Prune Juice leading the pack. So guys, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a comment below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button too, and let me know if you guys found this video useful or if you have any trouble with this team, and I'll do my best to help you out.